Hey, I'm Greg. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, be sure to like and subscribe if you find that you like or can benefit from this in any way. For those of you that have returned, we thank you. Hello. So today, without further ado, we're going to talk about this. Got this on eBay. Lionel 2026. It's pretty cool. Put it on the track last night and results were kind of underwhelming. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so I got the camera off the tripod to give you guys a little bit better view here. This once again is a Lionel 2026. I would say that this has been sitting a little bit just from the dust and grime. And overall, I would say it's pretty much in the condition you would probably expect it to be. My only concern, well, one of my concerns with this locomotive is that the rear truck and the coupler for the tender is off. And the reason that concerns me is because that would attach right here. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks to me like the bolt has gone through here and possibly bent this plate. I did in fact put this on the track, and I'll show you that in a minute. And it did work kind of, but I rather suspect that this is interfering with the function of the E unit. And so we're going to take it apart. We're just going to do some general service. We're going to take a look at that E unit, see if we can clean that up, make this thing work a little bit better as it should. So if you're wondering, this particular model with my high-tech display here is a copy, guys. This comes out of the Greenberg guide, and the 2026 was actually produced in 2 runs. One was from 1948 to 1949, and you see the values there. And then this one, this guy here, was produced from 1951 to 1953. As you can see, the values are not what the other are, but you know, once again, the value of these is in your heart, not on this piece of paper. Got it? So one more note, and possibly a little bit of a rant, a tangent. You notice it says the tender, this one did not come with a tender. Guys, if you sell stuff on eBay, please include the tender. I'll pay more. I'll do whatever you want. It is really difficult to find the correct tender for these, and if you sell them separately, in my opinion, that's a little mean. All right, onward. Okay, so we're trying something a little bit different today. So if this doesn't work out or whatever, we won't do it again. What we did, just for those that are curious, we purchased a little miniature tripod. That way my hands are free. I can talk. We can do whatever we want. And hopefully you guys can see better. I think as long as I keep it on this yellow towel, I think you guys can see, and I think probably better. But we'll see. Let's try it. Okay, so I believe, of course, I believe a lot of things. I believe that the way that this motor is held in is, I think there's a pin here. There's definitely a screw here. I've never taken apart this exact model. And probably disconnect these guys just for the sake of not having to deal with that. So let's get busy on that. So first off, let's get this little nut off here. Could have been organized, I suppose, and had the tools ready, but this just makes it a little more authentic, maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Let's try this. So, let's see, that's the right size. I just noticed the light isn't on. Let me shed a little more light on this, perhaps, or not. Well, 1 minute. Joys of modern technology, right? Alright, so this is the switch. There we go. Hey, that does seem to be better. I think that was probably worth doing. Now, I don't have a proper nut driver, so for those that this is going to drive crazy, just close your eyes for a minute, and it'll be over before you know it. Alright, you can open your eyes. So, I don't have a parts cup, like I've seen some of you have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, pardon me, I am still here. This guy here that came out of my toolbox. I'm just going to put the parts in here. We don't really want to lose anything. So, alright, there's that. I'll go over here to the next side. Once again, for those that think tools shouldn't be used this way, close your eyes. Too late. Alright. So kind of a side note, these little side ornamental pieces, pretty good shape. Look pretty good. This guy hasn't been sitting in a bunch of moisture. That's always a good sign. So I just noticed that this pen is kind of partially out, which makes me very suspicious that this has been a part in the not too distant past. Get this out. It actually could stay like that. It wouldn't hurt a thing. And then let's get this Phillips head screw out. And I think we are well on our way to having this baby apart. Now I don't know if the front trucks need to come off or not. Sometimes I guess you call that a pilot, don't you? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. In this case, oh, this has got the smoker with the bellows. So I'm thinking that probably this needs to come out. Alright. We may edit or fast forward this part. I don't know. Sorry guys. I didn't think ahead on this one. Alright. So these screws right here should be it. And we'll just put them over here in the parts. Now an interesting thing is when I put this on the track, well, that smoke unit, boy, it bellowed out the smoke. The smoke unit worked really well on this one. So okay, get this guy here, got the light hanging on here. So I don't think that was actually holding. Oh, I do remember now. This I believe has to come out. Or not. Let's see. Or perhaps I'm just being odd. Yeah. Alright, let me figure this out. I'll be right back. Alright, so what is holding us, I've just figured out, is the cow catcher here needs to come off. And once we do that, it should all come out. Famous last words, right? Did I mention I haven't taken apart this style yet? So, anticipation. Wow. Alright, so that guy just slides off there. Put him over here. I'm going to leave the screws in just because. Alright, so this just lifts out. This is alright, so first I'm mostly interested in this E unit. Looks like it's just this one screw. I don't know if it's supposed to be just this one screw, but it's just this one screw at the moment that's holding it. Then I believe, if careful look. Once we get this E unit up and out, I'm going to try to be careful with that wiring. See, that is what happened. This plate is bent. I knew it. So that's interesting. So it looks like this is threaded. It doesn't look like the screw is actually supposed to touch this. So I'm thinking somebody just simply used the wrong screw and screwed it up. Okay, so I just watched that last segment and I just realized that you guys couldn't see what I was talking about. What I was saying is that the screws is threaded into this piece here, and then the E unit simply sits on top, but I don't believe that this screw is ever supposed to actually touch this. This is not threaded. That hole is there possibly to accommodate the width of the screw, but not to be screwed into, and it just looks like, well, I mean, you can tell. Look at the indentation there. So, all right, let's see what we can do here. All right, so I have some power hooked up here, and I just want to kind of look and see if we can determine if the E unit is functioning or if it's damaged or what's going on. So that was a good sign. Let's see if I can hold it down here so you guys can see. So the E unit is operating, but it's not giving any power to the motor, which means likely those little forks are bent, or not bent, dirty. They need to be cleaned because it's not powering the motor at all. So all right, but it does look like it's functioning, and now that that plate's not in a bind, this is more than we had before. So all right, let's get some let's get some cleaning done, and I'll be right back in a minute. We'll see if that makes a difference. Okay, so after getting this back together, what I've realized is that the too long of a screw that somebody put in has actually damaged this drum. So we're actually going to have to get another E unit to make this work. So to continue with the servicing of the motor and so forth, I'm going to go ahead and just wire around the E unit. It's not difficult in this case. If you know how it works, it's pretty simple. It's just a matter of getting the polarity right on the field and the brushes to make it go in the direction that you want to. Other than that, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start these connections up the way that they need to go, and then I'm going to put this E unit back in just so we don't lose it or any of its parts, because you don't know when you get another one whether it'll be the same or lacking something that we may have on this one. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me get the soldering iron out and we'll be right back. Alright, so I've got these wires about ready. I'm going to clean these two guys up a little bit here, just so we're not trying to battle that cloth. We're trying to solder it. That's not a good combination. Doesn't work real well. I didn't really need that much off of there, but I think it'll be good. It's good and clean. Alright, I'm just gonna twist these together. It's not really necessary, but it'll make it easier to solder. I'm not gonna worry about it too much because this is temporary until we can get this E unit replaced with the one that actually works. Alright, so let's see if I can not make a fool of myself and solder this at the same time. Chances are pretty slim that that's actually going to happen. It's actually going to work, maybe, possibly. No. Ah, there we go. So that one's done. And that one went easy. Alright, so I think on these what I'm going to do That's hot, by the way. I'm going to do some heat shrink tubing on the ends here, just to keep this from getting into anything else. I think it'd be a little nicer maybe than wire caps or something of that nature. Might look a little more like I know what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, alright, I got the shrink tubing here. Make sure this isn't still hot. That's possibly for obvious reasons. So let's see, I noticed that this needs to be pushed down, it looks like. Okay, perfect. Alright, so I'm just going to put this to where it's about to the end. And then we'll let it seal itself off. Let's see, do I have a lighter? I do. That's the only thing I use a lighter for, so you never know. Alright, cool. Now the trick is not to burn down the house. I know I've made that joke before, but it's true. I really don't want to burn down the house. I think that would probably get my homeowner's insurance canceled at the very least. So let's see. I'm going to have faith in my work and not test that before I do this, and we'll see how that works out for us. So, alright. Let's get in with the lighter. Kind of a big fan of this heat shrink tubing. I keep saying shrink wrap. It's not shrink wrap. So, alright, that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get this E-unit in place just back where it belongs. So from the outside, it looks like it's the way it's supposed to be. It would help if I put it in there correctly, I suppose. I believe it went this way, or did it go the other way? Okay, it went this way. See there, I probably should edit stuff like that out, so y'all don't know that happened, but you know what, I'm human. So there. Alright, so here's our little screw. Put this back in here. And clearly I have a lot of faith in myself because we haven't tested this yet. But I think it's going to be okay. I really think it's going to be okay. So, alright, so with what little oil I have here, I keep saying that and I keep making it work. Well, heck, Greg. So, just going to get this guy here, here, and of course here, here. Wait a minute, we'll take off this plate and we'll make sure we're good there. But that really is about all we need. It'll spread itself out. Looks pretty good. Once again, I apologize if I got it off the camera. I keep forgetting that there's a limit to the camera's vision. So let's pull off this bearing plate just because we're in here. Normally we probably wouldn't care that much about this, but since we're in here and since it's obviously been sitting a while and obviously hasn't run because, well, it's a problem that it had, so let's just get this open. I can tell you that this has not been open before. It's pretty darn tight. So yeah, the bushing and the gear, everything looks good here. Let's give it a little bit more oil, just here on the side of caution. So alright, put this back on. And then I think next, what we'll do is we'll take that brush plate off And the brushes look new. Brushes look really nice, but I want to make sure the armature is nice and clean. Looks as though it's probably in pretty good shape, but I like to be sure. So, alright, let me get this brush plate off. Don't think we're going to find that we have as much. No, this has definitely been off. Definitely been off. So, just a reminder while we're doing this that if you like this, like my channel, be sure and like this video and subscribe to the channel, because the shenanigans will not cease. I will continue to do this. Okay, so just some general cleanup needed. I mean, it's certainly not pristine, but I've certainly seen a lot worse. So let's get the Q-tips going again, and we'll see what we can do here. I'm using alcohol only because that's what I have. If you guys have a suggestion of something better, drop it in the comments, and certainly go get whatever. This is just what I have at the moment. It's got quite a bit of gunk on here. This is gonna help it a lot. Like I say, it probably would have been fine. These old Lionel motors are pretty much bulletproof, but they sure will slow down and stop over grime and such like this. So alright, I'm feeling pretty good about this. It's looking good. I might go, I'll use my towel that I'm sitting on. Don't need to go get a towel, I don't suppose. So that's not looking bad. I feel like it could be better. This is, gears on the other side, so we can't pull that out. Let me go get something semi-abrasive and clean this a little bit better. Alright, so it appears we don't have any of the abrasive things. How dare folks use things like that for dishes and household chores? Isn't it all about the trains? I thought so. So right now I'm just cleaning up these brush holders. They get pretty nasty, as you can see. And once again, that will affect your current getting to your armature, and of course that's not good for your performance of your locomotive here. So I'm gonna get this a little clean here, and this should really just make things just a lot better. Got a piece of that Q-tip that stuck in there. Maybe this wasn't the best way, huh? One way. So, alright. Let's do the same thing over here. Let's do it the same way. Alright, cool. Probably looking for something better for that. But in the meantime, I got the end of these brushes cleaned off, and did a little bit of test motion going on here. See what we can see. Those are nice and springy. Before they were kind of stuck in time a little bit, liking that. So, all right, hold our tongue just right. Get this brush plate back on here. Apparently I'm not holding my tongue just right. I may be blind. There we go. All right. so that brush plate's back in place. Put these screws back in. You don't want to tighten these real tight because this brush plate is a Bakelite type material, and you can crack it or warp it or any number of other not pleasant things. So just kind of snug, but not like crazy. Now if you don't get them tight enough, they'll back out, and then all of a sudden you'll think your locomotive's got problems. But anyway, good luck on that, I suppose. Alright, so let's give it some power. Let's see if we notice any difference in performance, or if we're just all exactly the same. What's going on? See, that's a ground, maybe. We've got a little bit of noise that I'm not digging. I think it may be here on this end here. Don't recall that we oiled this. I think I didn't oil it on purpose because I didn't want to open it up and let that oil get on the armature. So that's looking pretty good, I think. A little bit of debris on that armature end here. That could very well be the source of our noise. Yeah, that's pretty filthy. Alright, let me backtrack a little bit here. Get the wires out of the way so you guys don't have to look at that. So yeah, that's going to be probably some of our noise right there. Alright, now that we got it cleaned, we'll go back and give it just a little more oil. This oil may not, and this is based on something I saw on somebody else's channel, be of the consistency enough, what's the name? Velocity enough to dampen that noise. So anyway, let's see what we got now. That's much better. Probably sounds terrible on the video because I got it on the counter and so is the camera. That would be really hard to beat, I think. Alright, I think we're about ready to put this bad boy back together. And everybody's favorite part, running around the track. Okay, so we got everything together here, and I think we're ready to put this back in the shell. I think that's the thing to do. Let's see. Got this little gasket here that goes on the smoke. I'll make sure that's in the right place, just because we know it works. Alright, so I'm not going to say this is going to be easy because then it won't be. But I think this just goes in here like so. I believe that's about where it goes. We got a light hung up here in the smokestack. That's not cool. There we go. That's feeling and looking better. So, alright, cool. Now, let's see, I'm going to put this screw in the top just to kind of hold everything together while we reassemble everything else. If I can get it to go in there. It looks like it's lined up pretty well, which means it's in there correctly. Alright, I'm not going to tighten it real tight because at this point we don't need it to be real tight. So okay, I'm going to put that under there like so. Now, this, I believe, needs to go in next. This is our smoke bellows, whatever you want to say, I guess. And I believe it goes in like so. Yeah, it has to go like that, right? I believe so. So yeah, and then there's this rod that's not on here yet. Goes down the track. It's mechanical, and it's just a bellows. It's pretty cool. Alright, so let's continue on. Don't see any reason that we can't get the back in. This actually doesn't feel quite right again. Let's take this out for now. We're a little premature in that. So, okay, we got this here. We know that pin goes through it. Somehow this isn't being terribly cooperative here. Alright, so the issue was that this pin goes in something of an angle, which is odd, but that's how it was when I took it apart. So I have no reason to think that that's not how it goes, at this point anyway. So let me see if I can get this to go. Okay, so next I'm going to put this cow catcher back on here. And I think that'll help button down some of this stuff that's flopping around here. I have to see what we're going to... There we go. It goes like that. Now what we don't want to do is put the light underneath it. I've done that on another one before. It won't work. So I'm going to just put these kind of sort of finger tight, because the likelihood of me removing this again is a little in the air at the moment. Oh.